Hey NFL fans, before we dive into today's hottest stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. From NFL News Now, the NFL world is buzzing with whispers and speculation after the Cowboys reportedly acquired wide receiver A.J. Brown from the Eagles. A move that has instantly sent shockwaves through the league and left fans questioning the future of Philadelphia's offensive strategy. Sources close to the team suggest that this trade was not just a strategic acquisition, but a bold statement by Dallas, signaling their intent to dominate the passing game in the coming seasons. Analysts are already dissecting every possible outcome, imagining scenarios in which A.J. Brown's explosive playmaking ability could redefine the Cowboys' offensive schemes. The whispers are particularly loud around the Eagles' locker room, where insiders hint that quarterback Jalen Hurts now faces an unprecedented challenge, finding himself with limited options in the passing game after losing one of his most reliable targets. Social media platforms are ablaze with reactions, fans debating whether the Eagles have underestimated the ramifications of this trade. Rumors indicate that internal discussions in Philadelphia have been tense, with coaches and management scrambling to reassess their roster strategy, exploring how Hurts can adapt to a suddenly constrained offensive environment. A.J. Brown's arrival in Dallas is described by sources as a potential game changer, bringing both size and speed that can stretch defenses vertically and horizontally. Rumors suggest that the Cowboys' front office has been planning this move for months, quietly analyzing how Brown's dynamic skills could pair with their existing receiving cores to create a truly unstoppable offensive unit. Analysts note that Brown's ability to break tackles and generate yards after the catch fits perfectly with Dallas' aggressive offensive philosophy, which relies on tempo and versatility to outmaneuver opposing defenses. The gossip circulating in insider circles implies that the trade was not only about enhancing the passing game, but also about sending a psychological message to the rest of the league. The Cowboys are willing to make bold, high-profile moves to strengthen their roster. Meanwhile, speculation about the Eagles' future is intensifying, with some insiders suggesting that Hurts might need to adjust his playstyle, relying more heavily on his running abilities and less on deep passing connections. Fans and commentators alike are debating whether Philadelphia's offensive identity is at risk of being fundamentally altered by this acquisition. Rumors even suggest that there might be further roster adjustments, hinting at possible signings or internal promotions to compensate for Brown's departure. The social media storm following this trade has become a whirlwind of hot takes, predictions, and speculations. Sources close to NFL insiders report that Cowboys fans are ecstatic, creating a frenzy of memes, highlight reels, and viral clips imagining Brown linking up with Dallas quarterback in spectacular fashion. Meanwhile, whispers from Philadelphia hint at a locker room still adjusting to the shock, with Hurts reportedly seeking input from veteran teammates and coaches to recalibrate his offensive approach. The trade has ignited intense debates among analysts, who are dissecting how defensive coordinators around the league might respond to the sudden shift in offensive power. Some rumors suggest that Brown's impact could force rival teams to rethink their defensive schemes entirely, emphasizing coverage adjustments and additional personnel to counteract his explosive presence. Industry insiders are hinting at potential domino effects, predicting that other teams might begin exploring aggressive moves to either match or counter Dallas' newfound firepower. Meanwhile, casual fans are engaging in speculative debates online, discussing fantasy football implications, possible highlight reel plays, and how this trade might redefine both franchises' trajectories in the league. The buzz surrounding this move is described as almost seismic in scope, signaling one of the most talked about off-season maneuvers in recent memory. Jalen Hurts, who has previously thrived in a balanced offensive system, now reportedly faces a daunting challenge: how to adjust without A.J. Brown's deep threat presence. Rumors from Philadelphia insiders suggest that coaches are exploring alternative schemes, including quick release passes, increased reliance on tight ends, and running back involvement to compensate for the absence of a premier wide receiver. Speculation abounds that Hurts' leadership will be tested as never before, with insiders hinting at intense discussions in film rooms, on practice fields, and in team meetings as the Eagles scramble to maintain offensive cohesion. Meanwhile, whispers from league insiders suggest that Dallas' move could trigger a wider ripple effect, pressuring other teams to reassess their roster compositions and offensive priorities in response. Analysts are debating whether the Cowboys' acquisition of Brown represents a calculated long-term investment or a high-risk, high-reward maneuver aimed at immediate impact. Fans and pundits alike are reportedly captivated by the unfolding storylines, speculating about how Hurts might innovate under pressure and how Dallas intends to maximize Brown's explosiveness. The chatter also hints at potential psychological impacts, as the loss of a key target could alter team morale, while simultaneously giving Dallas an edge in confidence and momentum heading into upcoming matchups. Speculative reports suggest that the trade was more than just a transaction. It represents a philosophical shift for both franchises. Cowboys insiders hint that Brown's integration into the offensive system will involve creative schemes designed to exploit mismatches and force defenses into difficult decisions. Rumors swirling around the Eagles suggest that the coaching staff is actively evaluating potential wide receivers to step into Brown's role, with some insiders hinting at high-priority scouting missions and aggressive recruitment strategies. Social media debates reflect a mix of excitement and anxiety, with fans creating hypothetical game scenarios, mock highlight reels, and discussions about the immediate statistical impact on both teams. Analysts point out that Hurts' versatility could become his greatest asset, as he might now be compelled to evolve his style, relying on improvisation, decision-making under pressure, and connections with emerging talent. Rumors also suggest that internal discussions in Dallas focus not only on maximizing Brown's performance, but also on maintaining harmony within an already talented receiving group. Industry whispers hint at potential long-term consequences, including how this trade might set the stage for further blockbuster moves, contract negotiations, and strategic adjustments across the league. The ongoing buzz indicates that the NFL community is collectively holding its breath, awaiting the unfolding impact of what some are calling a game-altering trade. Observers in the NFL are reportedly treating this trade as a catalyst for widespread speculation, with insiders suggesting that other teams are watching closely to see how both franchises adapt to the new landscape. Cowboys sources hint that Brown's presence could redefine the offensive identity, creating opportunities for explosive plays, increased scoring, and unprecedented matchups against rival defenses. Meanwhile, whispers from Philadelphia suggest that Hurts' ability to adapt quickly will determine the Eagles' offensive effectiveness, as insiders hint at high-stakes meetings, strategic experimentation, and the possibility of restructured playbooks. Social media chatter is reaching fever pitch, with fans debating everything from statistical projections to fantasy football repercussions and long-term franchise trajectories. Analysts speculate that this trade could influence draft strategies, free agent priorities, and coaching decisions, signaling a ripple effect that extends far beyond a single roster move. Rumors circulating in insider circles indicate that Dallas may have more aggressive plans in store, hinting at additional acquisitions, tactical innovations, or even future blockbuster trades designed to maintain their competitive edge. Philadelphia, meanwhile, is reportedly facing intense pressure to recalibrate, with Hurts' leadership under scrutiny and whispers of internal tension as the team works to stabilize its offensive engine. The buzz surrounding this trade is described as relentless, as fans, analysts, and insiders continue dissecting every possible angle, imagining the near-limitless implications of this seismic NFL maneuver. Speculation surrounding the Cowboys' acquisition of A.J. Brown continues to intensify, with insiders suggesting that this move may not only alter the dynamics of Dallas' offense, but also send shockwaves across the entire league. Sources hint that coaches are already designing innovative playbooks that leverage Brown's size, speed, and ability to dominate one-on-one matchups, creating opportunities for explosive vertical attacks and high-yardage plays. Rumors circulating in NFL circles suggest that Brown's presence will force defensive coordinators to rethink coverage schemes, potentially opening up the field for other receivers and creating mismatches that could be exploited on a weekly basis. Meanwhile, the whispers from Philadelphia paint a different picture, with Jalen Hurts reportedly working tirelessly to adapt his strategy. Without one of his most trusted targets, analysts speculate that Hurts' reliance on short passes, quarterback runs, and tight end connections will increase dramatically, creating a tension-filled environment as the Eagles search for balance and cohesion. Fans are actively participating in this speculative frenzy, posting theories about upcoming games, imagining Brown's highlight reel catches, and debating how the absence of his presence in Philadelphia might impact offensive efficiency. Insiders even suggest that this trade could mark the beginning of a domino effect, with rival teams potentially pursuing bold moves to counter Dallas' newfound strength, sparking a wave of speculative maneuvering across the league. Keep watching as we analyze more details about some rumors. Sources close to both franchises hint that the psychological impact of this trade is significant, with Dallas players reportedly energized by the addition of Brown, seeing him as a catalyst for championship aspiration. Rumors suggest that team meetings are filled with discussions on how to maximize his skill set, while maintaining chemistry with existing receivers and offensive linemen. Analysts speculate that Brown's integration will involve a mix of traditional routes and innovative schemes, designed to exploit defensive vulnerabilities while keeping opponents guessing. On the other side, whispers from Philadelphia suggest that the locker room is in a state of adjustment, with Jalen Hurts being urged to take on an even more prominent leadership role. Industry insiders hint that this could be a turning point in his career, requiring him to elevate his decision-making, adaptability, and improvisational skills to compensate for the absence of a primary deep threat. Fans continue to fuel speculation, creating elaborate scenarios and hypothetical plays, imagining how Hurts might rise to the challenge or struggle under the new offensive constraints. Analysts are debating whether this shift will ultimately strengthen Hurts' versatility or expose weaknesses in the Eagles' offensive strategy, with insiders describing the situation as one of the most intriguing storylines in recent NFL history. Whispers from league insiders suggest that Dallas' aggressive pursuit of Brown may inspire a new wave of bold acquisitions across the NFL, as teams scramble to respond to a franchise suddenly elevated to elite passing potential. Rumors indicate that other teams are quietly reevaluating their wide receiver depth charts, free agent priorities, and offensive philosophies in response to this blockbuster trade. Analysts speculate that Brown's impact will be measurable not only in yardage and touchdowns, but also in how defensive schemes are forced to adjust weekly, creating indirect opportunities for running backs, quarterbacks, and other receivers. Meanwhile, Philadelphia is reportedly examining potential replacements, with insider chatter hinting at scouting missions, trades, or even promotion of younger receivers to fill the void. Social media has exploded with speculation about Hurts' ability to maintain offensive rhythm, with fans debating whether his mobility, vision, and adaptability will be enough to counterbalance the loss of a premier receiver. Industry sources suggest that the psychological stakes are equally high, as both franchises face immense pressure to justify their decisions and maintain momentum. The combination of strategic recalibration, media scrutiny, and fan speculation has created an environment described by insiders as electric, with every passing day fueling new rumors, imagined scenarios, and dramatic projections for the upcoming NFL season. Rumors indicate that A.J. Brown's arrival could transform Dallas' offense into a powerhouse, capable of challenging any defense in the league. Insider whispers suggest that the coaching staff is planning to fully exploit his combination of physicality, speed, and route-running precision, incorporating him into high-stakes passing situations that could shift the balance of key games. Analysts speculate that Brown's presence will demand defensive attention, potentially opening space for secondary receivers and creating opportunities for creative play calling that capitalize on mismatches. On the flip side, Philadelphia reportedly faces intense pressure to adapt quickly, with Hurts needing to redefine his offensive approach and leverage every available weapon to maintain scoring potential. Rumors hint at creative adjustments in practice, including more designed quarterback runs, innovative formations, and strategic use of running backs and tight ends to compensate for the absence of a deep threat wide receiver. Social media engagement reflects this intrigue, with fans dissecting potential scenarios, debating fantasy football implications, and imagining highlight reel plays featuring Brown and Dallas. The buzz surrounding this trade is described as near constant, with insiders suggesting that it could mark a pivotal moment for both franchises, influencing not only game strategies, but also broader league dynamics, future roster moves, and even the psychological edge in upcoming matchups. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow NFL fans. Stay tuned for more updates, only here on NFL News Now.